Hi and welcome to a new video on my channel. Today I want to show you how to make filet crochet using Tunisian crochet stitches. Actually, two ways of making filet crochet, because we will be using two different stitches to make slightly shorter and slightly taller spaces in filet crochet. I was inspired to come up with this method by someone on the subreddit about Tunisian crochet, and I couldn't rest until I figured it out, so I thought about sharing it with you because I think it's a very nice way of using traditional filet crochet patterns with your Tunisian crochet hooks. All you need for this tutorial is some yarn and a hook, 1 to 2 millimeters thicker than what you would use for regular crochet for that yarn. So let's get started. For this project I made a very simple pattern to show you exactly how to work the full and empty squares in a filet crochet pattern, and I also showed here the number of stitches you need for each square. To make a regular filet crochet pattern you would need a multiple of 3 plus 1 stitches. For Tunisian crochet you also need the first stitch, which will be the first loop on the hook and which we don't regularly count in patterns. So you'll still have the 3 plus 1 stitches, but you will also have one extra loop on the hook. I will also show you two ways of making the filet crochet using Tunisian double stitches and Tunisian extended double stitches, and you will choose for yourself which method you like best depending on the height of the squares that you want to have. As you can see from the sketch, we need 12 plus 1 stitches, so we start with a foundation with 13 simple stitches. To do that we make a simple slip knot, put it on the hook and chain 13. We have the first loop on the hook here, and then insert the hook into the back bump of the first chain, pick up a loop. Insert into the back bump of the second chain and pick up loop, and so on until the end of the chain. At the end of the row we chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to return to the beginning of the row. If you wanted to, you could also make the foundation in pattern, or you can make another foundation. It's your choice. Now we begin with the Tunisian double stitches, and we have first a dark square, which means that it's a full square. So we chain 1 to prepare for the double stitches, yarn over, insert the hook behind the vertical bar of the next stitch and the horizontal bar to make it a bit more secure. Pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. This is 1. We have 2 more of these double stitches. And this is the first square. Then we have an empty square, which means that we have 1 double stitch and 2 skipped stitches. So we have a yarn over and do the regular double stitch. And then we have 2 yarn overs for the skipped stitches. Then we have a full square, so we yarn over once more and then insert the hook into the next stitch, making sure we have the 2 skipped stitches here. Yarn over, pull through 2. We do this 2 more times. Insert the hook into the next stitch and pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and the next stitch. And now we have 1 more empty square left. So we have the double stitch, yarn over twice, skip the 2 stitches, then yarn over once to make the last double stitch. And insert the hook behind the 2 vertical bars at the end of the row. Pick up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we chain 1 and we begin the return pass with yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. You will notice that where you had the 2 yarn overs, you will now have a horizontal treble. On the second row we begin with a space. So we chain one and we make the first stitch. Then we yarn over twice. We yarn over once more for the next square, which is a full square. Make a double stitch. Then here you have two options. You can either work around the horizontal space here, or you can work into the stitches like this behind the two horizontal bars here. It's your choice. I prefer working into the bars because it makes the whole fabric much sturdier. Now we have another open or empty space. So we make one double stitch, yarn over twice. Then we have the last space which is full, so we yarn over for the next double stitch. And then we have two more double stitches here. And at the end of the row we insert the hook behind the two horizontal bars at the end here, at the top of the last stitch on the previous row. Yarn over, pull through two, chain one, and then yarn over, pull through two to return to the beginning of the row. This is what filet crochet with double stitches looks like, and if you want to, you could also make these empty spaces and the filled spaces a bit taller. You can use Tunisian extended double stitches for that, and I will show you how to do that now. To begin, you chain one, or you can chain two if you want to. Yarn over, insert the hook into the first stitch. We have a full space now. And instead of finishing the double crochet as usual, we chain one and then we finish the double crochet. Then again yarn over, insert the hook into the space, pull up loop, chain one, yarn over, pull through two to finish the extended double stitch. And we have one more. Now we have an empty space, so we have one stitch. Then two yarn overs. Next we have a full space, yarn over. Don't forget about it because otherwise your spaces will be too small. We have a full space now, so we have two more extended double stitches. And then we have an empty space. So we have the stitch, yarn over twice, then yarn over once more to make the last stitch. Insert the hook behind the vertical bars, pull up loop, chain one, yarn over, pull through two, and then chain one and yarn over, pull through two to the beginning to return. Now let's make one more row so that we have fabric to compare with the first two rows. Chain one, we have an empty space, so we have one stitch. Then yarn over twice. Then we have a full space, so we yarn over once more and make a stitch. And then two more stitches. Then we have an empty space. We make one stitch and then yarn over twice. And we have one more full space, so we yarn over one stitch, two, and then we have the last stitch. Yarn over, pull through two to the beginning to return. As you can see from this swatch, the Extended double stitches are slightly taller and they create taller spaces, which to me look a bit more square than the spaces made with double stitches. But this is a personal preference, so you should choose the method you like best. And you can use any filet crochet pattern with this method and make filet crochet with Tunisian crochet. If you make any projects with this method, please tag me or let me know using one of the many platforms that I'm on. I would love to see your project. And if you want to try a more complex filet crochet pattern, I have one now in my shop. It is inspired by Romanian traditional crafts and I love it very much. There will be more coming soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video, that you will use it for many beautiful projects. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to know when I publish more videos about crochet and Tunisian crochet. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!